Hello everybody, welcome back. Now in this class I'm going to discuss about the configuration of a servlet or a servlet example. And the servlet can be created by three ways. First, by implementing the servlet interface, by inheriting the generic servlet class, or by inheriting the HTTP servlet class. And the mostly used approach is by extending the HTTP servlet because it provides the HTTP request specific methods such as toGet, toPost, toHead, etc. And we are going to use an Apache Tomcat server for this servlet configuration. And the steps are as follows. To first create a directory structure, then create a servlet, compile the servlet, create a deployment descriptor, nothing but a web.xml file, start the server, and deploy the project, and then access the servlet. Actually, for a servlet, a web container is responsible for creating an object. And if a web container needs to create an object of a servlet, then the following two things are required. Servlet class must be declared as public, and servlet class must be configured in web.xml, that is deployment descriptor file. And if you want to configure a servlet, three names are required in web.xml. First is the logical or alias name or the dummy name called as the servlet name. And the next one is the fully qualified class name or the original name called servlet class. And next is the URL pattern. To configure a servlet in web.xml, then we need two XML elements, that is servlet and servlet mapping. In web.xml, while configuring a servlet, we must follow the XML rules. It means the XML file must be a well-formed XML document. And when a client request is given to a servlet, then the container first verifies whether the URL pattern in the browser is matched with the URL pattern in the web.xml. If the URL patterns are matched, then container verifies the alias names in the servlet and servlet mapping of web.xml. If alias names are matching, then the container identifies that the original class is requested by the client and then executes the life cycle of the servlet and finally gives the response back to the client. Now, what is this web.xml file? It is known as a deployment descriptor file, which is an XML file from which the web container gets the information about the servlet to be invoked. And the web container uses the parser to get information from the web.xml file. There are many XML parsers such as SAX, DOM, and full, etc. And there are many elements in the web.xml file also. So just now I discussed this web app represents the elements in the web.xml file are web app, which represents the whole application, and servlet is the sub element of web app and represents the servlet, and servlet name is the logical name or alias name or dummy name, and servlet class is the fully qualified class name or original name, and servlet mapping is also sub element of the web app and it is used to map the servlet, and URL pattern is also sub element of servlet mapping, and this pattern is used at the client side to invoke the servlet. So I hope you understood about this configuration of a servlet and web.xml. Okay, I'll continue in the next class.